Today we're breaking down one of the biggest international crises right now, a full-blown conflict involving Iran, Israel, and the United States. What triggered it? What's happening now? And why it's affecting countries far beyond the Middle East? Let's start from the beginning. The war began on 28th of February 2026, when the United States and Israel launched coordinated military airstrikes deep inside Iran. These strikes hit multiple strategic targets across cities like Tehran, Isfahan, Qom, and Karaj, and resulted in the death of Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, along with senior commanders. This operation was called Operation Epic Fury by U.S. and Israeli leadership. According to analysts, the aim was to significantly degrade Iran's military capability and prevent Tehran from advancing its nuclear program. However, the aftermath was immediate and violent. Iran retaliated with hundreds of drones and ballistic missiles targeting Israeli territory, U.S. military bases across the Gulf, and nearby allied states. This conflict quickly spread beyond Iran and Israel. Iranian strikes, including missiles and drones, have been reported across multiple Gulf countries, including Bahrain, attacks on U.S. Fifth Fleet facilities and infrastructure. Jordan, missiles and drones intercepted over its airspace. Oman, ports and commercial ships targeted. Qatar, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and other allied positions have all seen direct or indirect strikes. Militias backed by Iran, such as Hezbollah in Lebanon, have also engaged Israel, leading to a much larger battlefield than a simple bilateral war. This extended regional involvement is one reason the conflict is seen as far more dangerous than any military clash in the past few years. One of the most immediate global effects has been on energy markets and international trade. The Strait of Hormuz, a narrow choke point through which about 20% of the world's oil and LNG flows, has been heavily disrupted. Iran even restricted traffic there, pushing global oil prices sharply higher. Oil benchmarks like Brent crude briefly neared $120 per barrel as shipping was halted and tanker routes became unsafe. Nations that import most of their energy, like India, Philippines, and many in Europe, are now facing rising fuel costs and currency pressures. In addition, key trade routes connecting Asia to Europe are interrupted, freight rates are rising, and insurance costs for shipping have ballooned due to war risks. Supply chains for everything from semiconductors to food commodities are beginning to feel the effects. This isn't just energy. Global manufacturing, fertilizer production, and even everyday grocery prices are feeling the shockwaves. Beyond trade and energy, the war has triggered strategic military implications around the world. Countries across the Middle East are reinforcing air defenses and civilian shelters as missile threats continue. Cyber warfare, including attacks on banks, infrastructure, and navigation systems, has spiked as actors on all sides leverage digital tactics. Nations far from the conflict, such as members of NATO or East Asian powers, are reassessing their security protocols and alliances due to the risk of escalation. Even health systems are under strain. Thousands have fled conflict zones, and hospitals are overwhelmed by casualties, according to global health organizations. Diplomatically, this war has deepened global polarization, with some governments calling for de-escalation and others reinforcing military support for their allies. So, in summary, a dramatic escalation started with U.S. and Israeli strikes in Iran. The war spread across the Middle East and involved multiple countries. Global energy markets and trade have been disrupted. Broader economic and strategic consequences are unfolding worldwide. This conflict shows how interconnected the world has become. What begins in one region can touch every nation's economy, security, and future. If you found this explanation helpful, like and subscribe, and let us know in the comments what global impact you want explained next.